Welcome, everyone. Good morning for me. Good afternoon for Matt. Matt, we've done this a couple times before. Welcome back. We're here to talk about C++ Online, and you're doing a workshop there. And why I have you, I have to hit you up about your MP Units library, because as I understand, you have some things going on there too. And then you're giving a talk at this year's conference, our initial CPP Online conference. So, just for people that haven't and don't know you, maybe say a bit about yourself to start.
Right. Hello, everyone. My name is Mateusz Pusz. You can call me Matt, as we already agreed with Kevin. I worked at Intel for many years. Right now, I'm working at EPAM Systems. But probably what is most important for you, is that I'm also a C++ trainer, mentor, consultant, and a conference speaker. I'm also the ISO C++ committee member. I'm attending all of the meetings since C++ 20 cycle started, so you can blame me for 20 and 23. and yes, and I'm mostly interested and mostly probably active in the library evolution working group, because I think that I can contribute the most in this domain. I thought that I'm good in writing interfaces, in writing libraries, so this is where I try to help the community.
And it's so the library part, you have the MP Units library, which I believe you started that. I mean, I know it's taken off. When I say it's taken off a lot, when I look at the GitHub, you've got lots of contributors on it now. It's been around for years. I know you've had a couple talks about what you've learned from evolving it too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so MP Units started many years ago. I actually started doing libraries on Units 10 years ago or even more. But without concepts, it was impossible to actually write it correctly. So I tried and failed and never published anything, because I couldn't get the results, the outcome, the interfaces as I would like them to be. Or they were really complicated with pre-C++ 20 abstractions like enable if or void t. So only after 2017, where GCC7 was released, it was the first compiler and the only compiler to ever implement Concepts TS. And with Concepts TS, I could put my hands on C++ 20 concepts. And this was how MP Units started. So from 2017 to 2024, it's quite a while already.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and many years to come, because we started the standardization of this library and it started getting C++ 29. So
nice.
Quite a lot of work ahead of us until 29 comes.
So one of my favorite, I'm going to say bits, and I think you get what I mean, because I remember you did lightning talk, I think at CPP on C this year, where you talked about, I think it was the bridge between Germany and Austria. Not Matt, Yeah. I hope you include that in your class on concepts, because to me that was entertaining as well as learning.
Yeah, it might be not the class in concepts, but for sure I will talk about this during my lecture at C++ on C.
Okay. Yeah. So because you're doing that's true, because the C++ concepts is what your workshop is about. And it's interesting to me because I think, when I think of the talks you've given in the past about all that you've learned from doing your units library, including, like you said, just how hard it was to do it before concepts, and the things people can learn about even template metaprogramming from the way that you put the library together. I mean, the amount of experience that is to then turn around and be able to give a workshop on concepts, I would, if I had the time to take a concepts class, yours would be the one I would want to take. Looking at the code, what all do you cover in it? And also, to double that up as a question, are you more of a theory or a practice, or where do you mix the two together when you're doing a workshop?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so those are really great questions and actually remarks. Maybe I will start from the end. So about the style, what I've learned lately, actually, it was quite surprising for me, and that, but of course, it may be obvious to others, right? It was always obvious to me that every trainer has its own style, right? Like Jason Turner always says, "I'm not doing any trainings during COVID because this is not my style to do online trainings," right?
Right.
And this should, for sure, each trainer has its own way of delivering a workshop or a training. But for me, training is mostly about hands-on workshops, about the exercises, about putting your fingers dirty with typing new things that you are not familiar with, right?
Yeah.
But it turns out it is not the case for every trainers. So every person trying to attend the workshop has plenty of different let's say, plenty of different criteria to select what workshops to attend. Not only the subject, as it seems, but also a trainer and the style that the trainer provides. Unfortunately, maybe sometimes trainers do not like advertise their style together with the workshop abstract, right? And it might be surprising to you that you are going for a 2 or 4 day training and you never actually open your computer to type something, because this is like a 2 or 4 day lecture. But this is also what people do. I try to do at least 50% time for coding, and my exercises for those that attended, they already know they are not trivial. There is always some hidden thing to learn, even if we already covered something on the slides before, and then you sit to the keyboard to type something. It will not be just copy pasting from the slides I shown you. There's always something more to learn, some problem to solve, right? So I think this is what I try to do, right? But every trainer has their own possibilities, right? For example, for me, C++20 training is really hard to fit in 5 days, and not everyone can attend 5-day training because this is either too expensive or you have to put too much time for it, and so on. So sometimes going for a 2-day lecture or 3-day lecture that can cover the same material in a shorter time, but with no practice, and then you practice by yourself at home, it's also fine, right?
Yeah.
Every style is fine and is good. I'm not trying to judge anyone. It's just we have totally different styles as trainers.
Yeah. And I get what you're saying too, because for me, I definitely, because I know some of the other trainers that they've explained when I do interviews with them that they're more just pure lecture. We're going to go through slides. We're going to think about the theory of it. But personally, myself, I was saying the same thing with Reiner. His concurrency course, he's half theory and half coding. And for me, that learning is, it's like lifting a heavy weight. When I actually have to think on that line that I'm typing that was left out of the slide, that's the part that ends up sinking that I remember, that's for sure. So with concepts, if I'm new to templates and I've never done templates, am I still good, do you think, to take the workshop with you?
Yes, sure. In the beginning of every workshop, I will try to introduce everyone to the subject of templates. So you have some short introduction, what a template is, what kinds of templates we have, what does it mean to do specialization of the templates, and so on. So if you don't have working experience with templates, you just roughly know how templates look like because you use a vector or a string, it should be enough for you to start with this course. And in the beginning, there will be some introduction stating what it means and what templates do and how to specialize them, because it turns out that specializing templates is a really important skill when you are trying to do any concepts, right? Yeah. In my library, there are plenty of concepts. I think that my library was one of the first on the market, at least from the biggest ones that actually used concepts. Maybe after Ranges V3, right, from Eric Nibler. Probably mine was second, and was using concepts in a totally different way that Eric was doing. So I had to invent totally different new ways of interacting with the compiler through template code. And this is why I provided so many talks about this subject. And all of this is put into my workshop as well.
Nice. Yeah, the concepts and templates, I always struggled, until about 3-4 years ago, I struggled with it because a lot of the times when I would read books or do stuff with templates, I didn't have something to really apply it to. Like seeing how you use it in the MP Units library started to allow me to adapt how I work in the credit card industry. And a credit card charge is roughly the same, but it's only roughly the same because when you go from American Express to a MasterCard to a Visa, things change. And so it was easier for me to learn templates because, I pass in a charge of a particular brand and those adjustments that I needed to make in a template, it was like that along with your MP Units was where I was like, oh, this is why I want to use templates. So that's why I was curious about the template part, because your library helped me, and I still haven't taken your class yet. So that's I need to fix that at some point.
You're invited to take the class, right? Templates are not easy. You have to master them by trying. Just looking into code or thinking or reading a book is not enough. You have to have some reason, some working experience, some typing by yourself of those things in order to get fluent with them. And then they actually start to be quite easy and quite reasonable in terms of the design. All right.
Yeah.
And concepts is just a cherry on top of templates, right? And makes all of the interfaces so nice. I have such a nice slide on one of my talks saying like how do you like the interface? And I'm presenting an interface with a function foo that takes plenty of void stars. And I ask, how do you like the interface that takes plenty of void stars and returns void star, right? And everyone is laughing, like you're right, laughing right now, right? Because we do that better. C++ is about strong types, right?
Yeah.
And this is stupid C code or some naive C code, right? But then I'm showing another line next, just below it. Type name, right?
Yep.
In a function. How is better in terms of this signature instead of in terms of interfaces exposed to the user? It also takes everything. It doesn't tell anything what is recommended, what is requested for this code to work, right? And this is what I'm trying to say, that naked type name is technically void star of C++. And you should start thinking about this way and try to provide better interfaces. It's not only to provide a nicer wrapper over enable if or void t, like some people say. This is just a nice thing to have. It actually opens the door to totally new design approaches, to totally better interfaces, which lead to much better program, right? If you can express what you mean by the interface, so as an author of the interface, I can provide information to my users what is expected of this type, how to call this function without writing any single line of documentation code for this. This is a good interface, right?
Yeah.
I always say that if you're writing comments for your code, because writing comments is of course nice, but the comment should say what this function is about, what it is meant to do, not how to use it or how to call it.
The interface, definition. You need to pass in this, and this. Yes,
exactly.
It's funny to me because the void stars reminds me of old Windows code, because I used to do a lot of MFC programming, and we would use the COM interface for DLLs. So you would get iDispatch and have to query iDispatch to say, what can this actually do? And I think I had nightmares for most of my early 30s with that.
Yeah.
So your class is running February 28th, Wednesday, from 0900 to 1700 UTC. So if anybody wants to really learn concepts and get a step up on template metaprogramming too, you want to take Matt's class. And I know you're going to be giving a talk about your MP units library as well.
Yes. This year I'm scoping on safety, because safety is a really important subject in C++ community lately. So I'm trying to show how writing correct interfaces, strong interfaces that check all of the problems at compile time, how they improve your safety in your daily work as a programmer, and also the safety for you as a user of those programs, right? Because we want to, at some point, sit in our car and just go to sleep or open our laptop and work while the car is doing everything for us, right? And you want to be able to trust this code that it does correct things as a user, not as a developer, right?
Right.
And for this, such libraries make miracles to the developers, to the users, and prevent many errors. And I will show you some examples of different errors, which can happen, how you can prevent them, how easy it is. Also, there will be some funny stories. We'll talk about Columbus, about a turtle, and other things. So
nice.
Yeah, you are of course invited to my talk as well.
That's excellent. Well, Matt, I appreciate you taking time with me this afternoon for you, and I will look forward to seeing you at CPP Online today. Well, not today, but this year.
This year, sure. Yes. Thank you very much.
We'll talk to you soon, Matt.
Yeah. See you all there. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.